Hi, my name is Ruby Nolan. Today we'll be discussing agroecology and permaculture as studied by Dr. Mark D. Hathaway. Important things to note about the study are that it's entitled Agroecology and Permaculture, Addressing Key Ecological Principles by Rethinking and Redesigning Agricultural Systems. It's written by Dr. Mark D. Hathaway, who studied adult education and environmental studies at the University of Toronto, which is also where the study was published, Toronto, Canada, in 2015. And we have a picture of our author at the right. It's important to know some key terms about the study in order to fully understand it. GHG stands for greenhouse gases, which are gases that contribute to warming the atmosphere. Agriculture is a science or a practice of farming, and industrial agriculture is the large-scale, intensive production of crops and animals intended to maximize profits and products. Permaculture is the design of agricultural ecosystems that are intended to be sustainable as well as self-sufficient. The study focuses on comparing industrial agriculture with permaculture, with these comparisons mainly being in waste produced, GHG contributions, percent yield of crops, practical expenses, and conserving biodiversity. As it is, current farming methods will not be able to keep up with human food requirements while avoiding considerable damage to our ecosystems. Because of this, alternative forms of agriculture are needed that can increase productivity, especially in more impoverished areas around the world, while reducing water and energy use, decreasing chemical and biological pollution, increasing crop resilience, and sequestering carbon in soils. One potential solution for this is agroecology. So a main goal of the paper is to demonstrate that agroecological methods of farming have the potential to achieve all these aforementioned goals while attaining a sustainable livelihood for millions of farmers and the people who directly depend on them around the world. Permaculture may be better for the environment than, and potentially as effective as, current methods. This study doesn't really, well, it's not an experiment. It's a compilation of peer-reviewed data attained from databases around the world that are all published and come from notable universities or experts in the field. The findings did overall support the hypothesis. The author noted that agroecological methods are more labor-intensive. This is because they are more detail-oriented. Also, some methods of permaculture, such as polycultures, which is growing a lot of different species at the same time, may necessitate changes in average diets. Also, the influence of large transnational chemical, petroleum, seed, and food companies do have a stake in these claims. So their approval would be necessary, or they would put up a fight against some agroecological methods because they make more money from intensive farming. Also, the author criticized simplification of claims on the side of agroecologists. The study mentioned findings from Geoff Lawton. He's a man who began working in the desert land near the Dead Sea in Jordan, and within a year he was able to turn desert land into a rich farmland which only consumed 20% of water compared to intensive farms in the area. And this just demonstrates the potential of this field to really change the way that we do things around the world. It is going to be extremely important going forward to conserve as many resources as we can and revitalize dead areas. The agricultural industry contributes to climate change drastically. This is because it's contributed to by many other industries, such as land and forest deforestation. Processing, transporting, and packaging, as well as just overall waste. So it's important to understand how all areas contribute to the agriculture industry in order to understand why permaculture offers so many upsides to methods that are out of date. Thank you for listening, and thank you for your time today. I hope that you understand why this study is so important and the potential that it holds moving forward in our drastically changing world.